Ladies and gentlemen, welcome! This is the Killer from Like a Nerd Gaming at youtube.com/likeanerdgaming, and today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on Hitman Absolution. Now, if you have noticed on our channel, there's a lot of Hitman content. It's from Hitman Blood Money, and Hitman Blood Money is my favorite game. I love that game, really. And with the new upcoming game in somewhere around 2012, we will get to see what I think about the game and how it's going to be like. Now, be aware that the day this is recorded is the 14th of March 2012, and something might have changed by the time I said this, or the game has come out yet and I was just completely wrong. And this is only thoughts, so keep that in mind. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is story. Now, I think that the story, from what we've seen so far, is pretty damn good. I think it covers a lot of like dark subjects, especially with Agent 47 sort of taking care of his past. He's sort of taking out the trash, and I actually think that from being a cold killer, he's become even colder from what we've seen in trailers and so on. Of course, this is one thing I always want you to keep in mind. It's easy to make an awesome trailer, but it's hard to make an awesome game. But the trailers they've made is pretty damn good, and they've always made their trailers like he was just this FPS guy. Um, but what the actual story is about is, I think it sort of takes up from where Blood Money is, where he's sort of on the run. He's actually a ghost. He's non-existent, and I think it makes him come back on the track and actually becoming a world-famous killer again. A world-famous legend, actually. Okay, so what's really important is the gameplay change. I have seen a lot of people whining about how they think they've changed the gameplay to a very, very bad state. But I actually think it's better. In some ways, it looks better from what we've seen so far. I wouldn't mind a little more interaction and, you know, sort of being in the minute. And with that also said, you have to be in the minute because they have removed the save option. It's instead checkpoint. And some people think that's a con, but I actually think it's a pro. Because when you aren't able to save, it makes you think a little more about what you're doing. And checkpoints is every now and then. So I think it's a decent way if they made the game. And the AI has been very, very, very much improved. It's a more intelligent AI. They said this is an old interview I heard. They said they have so far 400 pages of character script. Actually, just character lines and quotes and so on. So that means that there's probably a lot of people who can be interacted in many different ways. For example, if I am a cop, if I'm dressed up as a cop, they act differently when they meet me. If they catch Agent 47 and they haven't found any bodies who he has killed or anything, if he hasn't even killed anyone, they will only try to arrest him. But if they find him and they know he has killed someone, then they will try and shoot him. They will try to kill on sight. Now there's a lot about the instinct mode, and the instinct mode I think they've made to make you live in the moment. Like, as some of you might have seen from the E3 footage some while ago, that when he walks past some cops, they might realize that this one is not used to be here. And he holds up his hands to sort of like say hi. And I think it's very, very interesting to see how they change the gameplay. And I think this will be a very innovative title in that term. I actually think that the interaction and the AI makes the game a lot better. It's some of the things we wanted to see, at least because as also some of you might have seen from the E3 footage, there's a lot of taking hiding to the next level. Like for example, where he hides over a door on what would you call that? Sort of like a little rock. It's not a rock. That's a good question. What you call that? But he hides on top of the door when a policeman enters, and it's just so interesting to see how close he is to the character, and he's actually in plain sight. That's very very cool, I must say. And also a lot of taking weapons. So far, I've heard that you can kill people with a knife, the Bible, a bottle, a bong, and what did? Yeah, you can also kill people with what? Yeah, it was a flashlight, and there was also in the E3 footage where he was able to shoot a chain that was holding up a big chandelier, and the chandelier could be used to kill people. Now this is very interesting. Some of you might have seen it from Splinter Cell, but yeah, that's not really important. In Blood Money, it was always like bombs made things go down, like accidents and so on. Explosions was always part of an accident, and okay, except food poisoning. Well, no matter. I think it's very important to realize that IO Interactive have made the game much more real, if you can say so, realistic to a good video game point, of course. Now, being able to shoot a chandelier is actually pretty cool, I must admit, and I think it makes you a lot more aware of your environment, and that's really really cool. Okay, so now what I want to talk about is the graphics, the art style, and the animations. Now, the graphics looks amazing. That's all I have to say about the graphics. They're amazing. And the art style is always the good Hitman art style, where it's trying to keep everything as real as possible, and it's not. You can actually imagine this in real life from so far what we've seen. And the animations so far that I've seen look pretty decent. Some of the animations in Blood Money was a little rough, like when people picked up coffee from a table, they would actually teleport, sort of. The coffee would teleport into their hand. And that's a mistake that many companies make, but I think they fixed that so far as I've seen, and it looks so good. So I believe this game is going to be very good. And what people tend to think is that Hitman is sort of a hardcore game, that it requires a lot of brain and thought and planning. Well, I don't think so, because if you want to get the silent assassin, you have to be very thoughtful and so on. But if you want to complete the game, it's very easy. I think they did that in Blood Money, sort of making it more casual, and then alternatively you can be more what you would call hardcore. And I actually think that this one is also a very good game in terms of everyone can play it, but not everyone can complete it at the highest difficulty and so on. And also something I want to mention is that the gameplay has also changed they have making it a lot more easy to feel like you are very the silent assassin, or also you're just the evil killer. And for example, you can throw a fire axe. That's pretty evil, I must admit. But also there's a map, this was hidden footage, so I have no idea what it looks like. But where you take a toy and put it in another room, and therefore distracting the guard, and so on, making them go into the room, and you can sneak by them. But that's my thought on Hitman Absolution, and ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Killer from Like a Note Gaming at youtube.com/likeanotegaming, and I'll see you next time.